Hi, this video is based on one of my YouTube subscriber request. It's regarding the Microsoft Forms file uploads. Scenario is users going to upload an Excel file which contains some specific column headers and rows. Once the Excel file is uploaded, we need to read the content and insert into another master Excel file. Okay, so first thing is we need to build the form. So here I have logged on to Microsoft Forms Office forms.office.com, and this is where you need to log in to create the forms. So first I'm going to click new form, then give a heading name. So I'm going to give it demo employee file upload. Okay, and then here I'm going to ask a question here like name. Okay, the second question I'm going to ask here is the file upload. So you can see here upload file. So remember the file upload, I'm going to give the name here called upload file, upload employee file, okay, which is Excel file, right? And here you can limit the numbers and the file size limit, etc. Okay, you can add more than one numbers. You can you can set that as well here. Okay, so the file number limit is set to 1, then the single file size limit is 10 MB. I'm going to make it record that, and also this I'm going to make it record as well. So here, if you look the settings, you can see here only people in my organization can respond. So if you enable this, then only you can use the file upload. For anonymous submissions, you won't be able to upload the files. So if I disable this feature, like I can't do it now. Okay, let me delete this and show you then. Go back to settings and anyone can respond, and if I click on add new, see that upload file is disabled here. Okay, so this only work for your internal organizations only. Maybe in future we might get that feature from Microsoft. Okay, so let me go back and add the option again. Only in my organization can respond. Okay, that is enabled now. Then I'm going to say here upload employee file. Right. Okay, you can add the other questions. The focus for this demo is to show read this Excel file and move those contents into another master Excel file. Okay, I'm going to say here Excel file here. All right, I could specify the file type here. So I'm going to disable all the other file types. These are the file types it supported. Here it is. Okay, so it says allowed file types Excel also, it says here. If I click on preview, I should be able to see that now. Name, upload file and all. Okay, now the next thing is I'm going to I created an Excel file which I'm going to upload, and also I got a master file also. So let me show you that first. Okay, so this is my employee master file, and this is my employee Excel file. Okay, so my master file, so this is my employee file which I'm going to upload. As you can see here, I got header, EMP number and name. Then I got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows here. Okay, there are no tables here. Remember, this is quite important here. There are no tables for this Excel file. I'm going to close that. And my master file, it is currently empty, and I have got here the employee number and the name, and here I have created a table actually, which is more important here. So remember, the master file should have a table. Okay, for the upload files you don't need to create a table. There are no tables for the files which you are going to upload via forms. Okay. Okay, next I'm going to create a flow now. So for that, I'm going to create an instant cloud flow. Okay, skip. You could use a template, but I'm going to use the skip here. And then select the Microsoft Forms. Then this is the trigger I'm after when a new response is submitted. Okay, so remember this, my form is called demo employee file upload. Okay, so start typing employee file upload. Here it is. The next step we need is again search for forms and get response details. We need to select again the same employee demo employee file upload. So same form ID. Then the response ID is coming from the previous step which is the trigger. Okay, that's the response ID. Okay, let's save this flow. Demo file upload and update the master file. Okay, let me save this file, and I'm going to run the form now and show you what response we are going to get. Okay, let me save the flow now. Okay, before I run the flow, I'm going to add a compose action step and see upload employee file Excel file. That's the second question I got here. So I'm going to map that. So this response should contain my uploaded file informations. Okay, so I'm going to run it manually and click save and text. Meantime, what I'm going to do is now flow is ready to, ready for the submission. I'm going back to the demo file upload. So I'm going to say demo user upload file. Okay, and I got employees.xlx file there. And submit. Okay, let's go and have a look at the flow. So flow triggered successfully, and you can see that's a file upload details here. So let me copy those details. Press Ctrl A, place your cursor inside. Press Ctrl A and Ctrl C. That will copy to your clipboard. Then edit. Go back to the flow and add parse JSON step. And here inside that, either I could directly add the upload file employee file, which is this mapping, or the output of the combos. Okay, I'm going to directly add that, and I can delete this now. I don't need that anymore. Okay, then generate from sample, press Ctrl V and click OK. That here we go. So I generated the schema now. So the next thing what we want here is we want to see the name of what's the name of that file first. So there are a couple of things in that data. So let's go back. So I'll show you that this is what I copied to generate the schema. So the name, then the link where it is stored. This is the path it is stored, and then the ID of that file, which is quite important here. I'll show you later steps that. Then the size and all that here. Okay, so if I take you to Microsoft Forms here, so this is where it's going to get stored actually. So it's in my OneDrive. So it shows here, see that. Either you could browse it here using the SharePoint, my.sharepoint.com, whatever your domain name is. Then your personal folder of the flow of the forms you created, and that's what it's using by. The connector which I used here in my name, so that's the reason it is using by. Okay, so make sure if you're using a company one, make sure anybody can access this folder. Otherwise it goes to the default author of the form who created it, which is quite important here. Okay, and then you got the docx and the source doc and the action and all that here. Yeah, so if I take you back to, if I copy that URL, Here we go, that's the one I uploaded now. Yeah, you can directly see that from the location now that, yeah. If you want to see from the OneDrive point of view, I can go back and show you where it is that. So that's under my OneDrive apps folder. There is something called Microsoft Forms. Then inside that, you can see demo employee file. It's automatically create that. Okay. Then inside I have the question, leave that, this one, yeah. So this question one, this is the one, it's saying employees, you know, underscore Ajit, my name underscore dot xlx, because, you know, I uploaded that file, so it comes under my name there. That's what happened there. Even though I uploaded, remember I uploaded the employees.xlx file only, which is here. So that's the file I uploaded. So it put underscore the person's name there, and then you know, it's puts under question one actually. So I think I was suspecting it should be question. I believe because I deleted and re-added it, that's the reason it comes as question. So when you browse it, you know, to this folder, you should be able to see it. So remember your OneDrive, then apps, then Microsoft Forms, then demo file upload, your form name. Then you can see the question there, you know, and then inside that it should be there. Yeah, hope that's easy to understand that. Then the next thing here is I'm going to use the name, and I'm going to utilize the platform's capability here now. I'm not going to resubmit again. I'm going to use the test flow here and run it again here. Yeah. Right. So if I look here, so this contains a loop because, you know, users could upload more than one files. That's the reason it is. So we got no control over that apply to each. The flow, you know, the flow automatically puts that, because that just, it comes that as an array. You can see here there's a square bracket in the beginning. That's the reason it's an array. So here, see, that's a file name. Okay, so I got the file name and I got the file ID here, which is quite important, which I said earlier. So in the next step, what we want is to read this file in Power Automate. Remember, I got no tables which I created for that file. So to read that, what we want to do here is I'm going to add an action here called Excel connector create table. So under the Excel online business, I'm going to say list rows present in a table, or create, sorry, not list table, create table. Yeah, that's what I want. And the location, you can see I'm going to select the location. I'm going to set OneDrive, and then my document library, I need to set OneDrive. And here the file, either I could browse, but the problem then is if I'm going to select browse the file, it's only going to select only one file. What we want is dynamically all the other users, when they're going to get uploaded, we need to get all the files. So we can't hard code here. So the technique here is I'm going to use the ID of that file, which I said earlier. That's the ID from the parse JSON step. Okay. Then the table range. So there are different formulas you can use to do the table range. I'll show you the formula here now. Okay, so this is a formula you need to use. So I need to change here. So by default, we assume the users uploaded Excel files are default is sheet 1. So change that to sheet 1 and sheet 1 here. Then at the end, because in that Excel sheet I got only 2 columns, employee number and name. So that's why I put 2 here. Rest, nothing changes. All these are exactly the same. Even the 103, everything you need to keep it the same. So this formula will take care of creating the table range automatically here. Then you need to give an employee, you know, the table name. I'm going to call it EMP, employee. Yeah. And then the next thing you need is you need the column names. So let's go back to this file and the uploaded that file which we used, the employee file. Or I could click the other one. Okay, and this is called the employee number and the name. Remember, EMP number and name. That's what we need to use. So to do that, going back to our flow again here. So all I need to do here is the column name. So I need to say EMP number colon name. That's it. So if you got more columns, you need to put colon and put the names. So remember, the column name should be the name we need to know in hand before the users upload those the files, the header names. Because it's internal, you could send an email to say, we expect everybody to send an email which contains an Excel sheet with the headers of such and such, so that's where you could manage those. Right, so that's the employee name now. So the next thing we need to use here is I'm going to use the list rows present in a table now. Okay, so that will give you, so let me go back to the list rows present in a table. Okay, again I'm going to select OneDrive for Business, then the document library is OneDrive. Again I'm going to use the same ID, that's the ID I'm going to use, same file. Then the table which I created here is so that's a list. Okay, the table I'm going to do here is the employee table, which is EMP table here. So I'm going to enter custom value and type EMP. Okay, so what we did here is the file which users uploaded via Microsoft Forms, we create a table. Then because we create the table, then Power Automate can read the Excel sheet. Otherwise you won't be able to read it. So this is a way we can dynamically create the table and read the contents. Okay, so I'm going to run the test and see what's going to happen now here. Okay, so flow ran successfully. Let's go back to the list rows present in a table, and here you could see that it created that. See that it created the table, and we got the contents also there. Okay, so let me copy this content now. Press Ctrl C that and click edit. Okay, I'm going to add the next action and called parse JSON. And this is coming from the previous step, the value. Then click again, generate step. Generate the schema using the previous step. That is that. Then I'm going to add a compose here again. Okay, I can select now the name and employee number underscore name. I have found it. I was suspecting it should only call employee number. I'm not really sure what's happening here. If somebody knows, please comment in my video actually that. So that's my employee number. So it's more than one value, so it's automatically put the loop and put a hyphen and map the name also there, name. Okay, let me save it. I can't test again. If I test again this using the same, the create table will fail now because I already created the table. Okay, so because of that reason, I'm going to let me go and delete the other file now. So let me open this file. I will show you what we got earlier. See that the file which we uploaded hasn't got a table earlier, and using the Power Automate dynamically we created the table here. You can see here, so it's put employee number colon name. Actually, I'm not really sure why it is. Let me go and check again that. So under the create table, we put employee number colon name. So that's a column name. You need to specify it, and I believe I did the right way. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, that's quite interesting actually. Why I did, I'm not really sure at all that the column names. Anyway, so we got the schema name here, and we can access the values now. That's quite cool. I'm going to delete this file now. Okay, deleted that. Going back to the Microsoft form again, so I'm going to click test and click on manually now and test, because I'm going to resubmit a new file. And going back to submit another response, the form. Okay, put David and upload file, and that's a file which hasn't got any table, employee.xlx file. Okay, and submit. Okay, that's done. So let me see. Okay, flow is running. And hopefully, we should be able to see the results soon here. So let's see then. There we go. I got 4 results here. So I can read that content now. Okay, the next steps are quite easy now. So let me go back, edit, add an action here now. And then all I am to do is I need to go back to the Excel connector again. Excel online business one I'm using here, and called add a row into table. Okay, here we go. The location again, OneDrive. This is where my master file update here. So I could rename here called insert records to master table. So this is where we want to append. Yeah, so I'm going to insert that. Then selecting the OneDrive again the file ID here. So remember here the master file is fixed, so I could browse here and use that. So all the way up here, and let me go and have a look. It's called employee master file, and I created a table. Remember, we need a table for that. So for the master file, because we know what the master file it is, so we could create that manually, that table. We don't need to create dynamically, and it knows see the employee number and the name coming up dynamically here. So here I can now map using that employee number underscore this one. That's my employee number it is. Then the name, then the name I can search here. That again, that is coming from my Parse.json 2-step. Remember this step, Parse.json 2-step, that's my name now. Yeah. And that should insert the step now, the values now. Yeah. So let me save it, go back and delete that file again. That's uploaded file. I removed that. Let me upload again submit another response. So here I'm going to say again David and upload file. This is a file which hasn't contained the table. There's no tables there. And submit. And hopefully that should run now. Let me see. And it's 5 seconds ago it's running now. Okay. Right, it looks like the flow ran successfully. So it's successfully created the table, and we can see it went through the list the rows present in a table to read the content, and that array of values it's passing to the Parse.json step, which we generate the schema based on that result set. And then coming to here, it inserting to the master table, which is the employee master table. So let's go and check that first under the Microsoft Forms, the OneDrive one, apps Microsoft Forms demo employee file upload question 1. If I open this file which the user uploaded, it should have a table. Here we go. That got a table. Like I mentioned, I still doesn't know why that header name is showing like that. Okay, so that's fine. Let me close that. Now if I may take back to my employee master file, that should have my contents here. Here we go. 100 David, 234 Smith, 140 and 150. So that's where you can append now. Yeah, using Power Automate. So all we did here is, let's go back and go through the flow again. So I collected the response using the Parse.json of the file response answer. All I did then is go and created using the ID and using that formula, I created the table dynamically. Then, once I create the table, I can read that file which the users uploaded. Then finally, using that schema, I did the insert to the master table. Okay, so this is a technique we need to use for appending a master Excel file, from another Excel file. Thank you very much for watching.